Oh, yeah.
Hey everyone, Dr.Dollz. You know what today is? Well, it is if you're watching it this day. It's May 13th, Friday the 13th, 2016. There's only one Friday the 13th this year, and it is today. So I'm doing a special show. I don't know if it'll be that interesting or not. I know you're saying, Dr.Dollz, shouldn't it be all about the movie Friday the 13th and Jason and stuff? And it's like, that's what everyone in the spook show biz would be jumping right to. Well, truth is, Jason did call me today, and he knew I was doing this show, and he wants to show up. And I told him, you know, he's a big fan of mine. He's a big fan of mine, and I don't blame him there. But I told him, I said, everybody does the Jason Friday the 13th thing on Friday the 13th. I mean, it's only natural. I said, I really don't want to go that route, but he wants to show up. I don't know if he's going to show up, but I told him not to, but you know how Jason is. He kind of does what he wants to do, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna touch on some superstitions today. This show might run a tad long, so hang with me. It might actually be entertaining as we go, okay? I know what's in store. It might, I don't know. It might not be, well, yeah. Hang around. Okay, hang around. Just hang around. Okay. We're going to talk about a few superstitions, and we're going to touch on just a few of the more popular ones. This, of course, is the spilling of the salt. Okay? Morton's salt. Isn't that odd? She's holding an umbrella too. But she's outside. But anyway, Morton's salt is the popular one with the girl on the front. Typical salt shaker, okay? And it was always told that you don't spill the salt or it was bad luck, okay? So if you were to accidentally, knock over the salt, and you can see, I got my bat plate here. So you can really see it, just, you know. All right, I spilled my salt. So what am I supposed to do? Well, the myth is that you take a pinch of it, like that, and you throw it over your left shoulder, and it will kind of cancel out the bad luck of the salt. We, as a kid, we would always toss the salt, you know, shake it over our shoulder like that. When we did it, I was brought up to believe that, and that's what you did when you spilled the salt. Okay, the origins of that supposedly, well, you know, with all these superstitions, the origins are really shaky on where they really did come from. And one of the origins supposedly is the fact that Judas supposedly knocked over the salt container. I doubt if it was Morton's back then, at the Last Supper. Now, who was? I don't know anybody that was there, and I have read the Bible, and I don't remember that being mentioned. That, you know, everything was going good until he knocked over that darn salt shaker, and then, you know, we were talking about getting Jesus some new shoes the next day, and the next thing I know, he knocks over the salt. Everything goes bad. Jesus is crucified. You know, it's like, I don't think that's the way it happened at all. I think that's just like one of those things that are made up. Yeah, so many of the things are. Okay, so that's one of the things. And I think basically it comes down to the fact that there in earlier times, bodies need salt, and salt wasn't so readily available, and it was very expensive and hard to find. Hard to get in some areas, in a lot of areas. And I think that's, you basically didn't want to, it was bad luck to spill the salt, because salt was something you needed and something that was valued. And I think that's really what it came down to. I don't think it was a Judas thing at the Last Supper. I really don't. It's my opinion, and since it's my show, my opinion does count. So, let's see, supposedly when you threw the salt over your shoulder, the devil, you know, you remember all the shows on TV where the angel sits on one and the devil sits on the other? Well, supposedly the left shoulder is where the devil is, so that's why you throw the salt like into the devil's face on your left shoulder. The angel always sits on the right, because everybody's right-handed, you know. I'm right-handed. All my family members are right-handed. I only had one sister that was left-handed, and it's a right-handed world. It's set up for, you know, that. So it makes it tough when you're left-handed. Okay, let me touch on a few salt shakers I got here. I got a couple of Halloween. These are like, this is a pepper shaker, of course, because it's black. And this is the 2 little spiders, salt and pepper shaker, and then just the basic salt shaker. I just brought in the pumpkin here, you know, that's a salt shaker. And then of course the lock, shock, and barrel salt shaker set from Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, this one doesn't detach. This is the salt and the pepper. Okay, I suppose you can choose which one you want to do, but you probably want to put it in the black one for the pepper. It's your own preference, so. And of course, lock, shock, and barrel was taken after the phrase lock, stock, and barrel, which means everything. You know, everything all combined to one thing. Well, they just played on that phrase and just changed one word from stock to shock, and there you have it. You know, that's where lock, shock, and barrel came from. I'm sure you knew that already. But okay, so there we have the first of the superstitions, the spilling the salt. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next, so just see how it
We're
ends together. One of the other superstitions, of course, the black cat crossing your path. It just depends on what country you're in and how you believe, and some people believe that black cats are actually very good luck. Other countries, bad luck. Other countries, they eat them. Okay, so I myself am not a cat fan. It's got this rear end in my face. Okay, I'm not a big cat fan. I'm allergic to cats. Okay, I always have been. That's one allergy I have not outgrown is cats. We don't have cats around us, and I've never cared for cats because cats always seem like, to me, people that are cat fans, don't get upset, but cats always seem like to me that everything you do for them, you owe it to them. You know what I mean? Dogs is like, dogs, I'm your pal, I'm your buddy, I'm your pal. Cats are like, it's about time you got home. When's my supper? Get me my cigarettes. You know, where have you been all day? That's how I feel like the cat looks at you, you know? And so this is a Jimmy. I thought I could squeeze in a Jimmy Motionette. We've all seen this one. Geez, I forgot. We're on top. People are going to say, well, don't you know the name of it? I do know the name of it. I'm in front of the camera and I'm blanking out. But this is a Jimmy Motionette, the cat one. And this has an on-off switch at the bottom. But when you have the switch to off, you can still press the button here. And it will still move its head and meow. It's not jumping up. What's going on here? Is it supposed to right then? Let me turn the switch on and see what I got here. Okay, switch. Wrong spot. I'm sure it's just a motion activated thing. It's not jumping up, guys. The head's moving. What the heck? It sounds like it's wanting to. I can hear the motor turning. It's supposed to pop up. You Jimmy people know that. You non-Jimmy people don't know that, okay? And it goes back down. I have so much trouble with Motionettes not working on the show, you know what I mean? Let's shut this off. He's annoying me. Even an unreal cat is annoying me, okay? One of my good friends has a lot of cats. Isn't that weird about cat women, though? You know, yeah. The whole superstition of black cats being bad luck, basically. I think it all comes back to the early days with the Celts and the whole Halloween setup where people were old women that were basically by themselves, unattractive and alone. They always had black cats. And they were like witches, and they were always associated with it. They were their familiar, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's weird, but nowadays still how often on the news do you see, well, this woman, and she lived in her house with 175 cats, and half of them were dead, and they were all out through the house, but then the other, you know, you hear about that all the time, don't you? It's always cat women, okay? And they're always by themselves, and they don't have a husband, and they you know, that witch thing you see, it's like, you know, we had one in our neighborhood too. We had a, what we called her Wanda the Witch, okay? And I don't know about her having cats or not, but we had a neighborhood, what we considered witch. Yeah, She always called me Durwood. Referred to me as Durwood. That's not my name, but she referred to me as Durwood when she would talk to my mother, and everybody kind of like stay away from her and stuff. But that house is torn down now, though. I went back in my old neighborhood about a year ago, and I drove down that road, and that house that the neighborhood witch lived in is no longer there. No, I don't know. You tell me, you know. Anyway, black cats and witches, and I think that's where the real thing. I don't know. Bad luck. I'm not sure. You just don't want black cats around. But here's a Jimmy black cat that's supposed to go up and down, stick his rear end in the air, you know, because he's mad. He's mad, and I know I'm mad at him for not sticking his rear end up in the air when he's supposed to. Okay, so that's the black cat thing. There's a lot of little technicalities to it about, you know, who believes in what on the black cat things, what countries. You don't want to hear about that. No, you don't want to hear about that. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the superstition of the broken mirror and 7 years bad luck. I had to write everything down because I was learning things today, but I don't recall ever breaking a mirror. I might have. I like mirrors. I look in them a lot. Yes, I do. I'm in front of the mirror in our house probably more than anyone is in front of the mirror, by far. And yeah, I look in the mirror a lot. So you have to take care of mirrors. But the thing with the mirror is it's like the mirror is like the reflection of it's like your soul in the mirror, and it's like bad luck to break that because it has something to do with your soul being within the mirror. In, you know, early days they didn't have mirrors like we have nowadays, and you know, the early, I think like in the 1500s they started making mirrors. They had to use like a silver coating, which made the mirror very expensive to make. Only the very rich people could afford the actual mirrors back then that were, you know, not the good quality we have now. But I think that also had to do with why it was considered bad luck to break a mirror, because they were so expensive, and it had to do more with the expense thing than the actual bad luck, you know. One and the same. But the soul thing, the expense, you know, and then it says that you're supposed to, if you break a mirror, you're supposed to cancel out the 7 years bad luck. You have to collect all the pieces of the broken mirror and dig a little hole and bury the mirror into the hole under the moonlight. And that will cancel out the effect of the bad luck. So those of you who ever have that problem and are freaked out about the broken mirror thing, that's what you do. Collect it all at night, go out don't collect it at night, collect it, and at night, dig your little hole and bury it under the moonlight, and the bad luck will cancel out, supposedly. Also, while I'm in this section here, I want to talk briefly about the number 13, because it is the 13th, and what you know, there's you hear about the buildings that, you know, they don't have a 13th floor. It goes from 12 to 14. Yeah, because it fools us completely, you know. I guess if you don't call the 13th floor, it's not really the 13th floor. I got news for you, that 12th to 14th, I got news for you, that 14th floor is not really the 14th floor, it's the 13th. I guess if you're fooling people, that's a problem with superstitions in general and fears in general. It's more what's in your mind and what you think and what you let scare you and bother you. That's what superstitions are really based on, is what bothers you inside. You know, they said, well, all these bad things happen bad things happen every day, okay? In our family, we considered Friday the 13th a lucky day. I remember as growing up, when I was younger, my older sister Lou, I remember her, as a growing up, I remember her being different than the rest of us kids, and she was like a rebel, okay? And I remember her liking the number 13, and 13 was like a lucky number, and growing up, I was taught that 13 was like bad luck, but with her, it was good luck, and I thought, wow, she's wild, man. That one's wild because she likes the number 13, and you're not supposed to, you know. But looking back on it, you know, that's what I remember as a kid, that my older sister was kind of so different because she liked the number 13 and thought that was lucky, and I was taught that was not lucky. So I remember that as growing up, you know, the number 13. But yeah, there's all different kinds of superstitions where the 13 was based on. Of course, it goes right back to the Last Supper again. 13 people at the Last Supper. 13th person seated was supposedly Judas. We were all there when the maitre d' was seating everyone at the Last Supper, and sure enough, here comes Judas, late again, but he's the 13th one. It's like, oh, okay, Judas, we're getting this meeting started. Here you are, showing up late. Take the 13th chair again. Here we go. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I don't know anyone that was, but I don't know how that really panned out. But again, it's just a superstition that it's like, a lot of times it does go back to religion, okay? So many things do, bad and good. And 13, of course, goes back to, and superstitions, a lot of them go back to religious things in one way or another a lot of times, okay? So that was my segment on the broken mirrors and the number 13. I'm trying to do this really quick, guys, because I know you're boring, but I'm boring you, not you're boring. You might be boring. I don't know. That's on your own time, though. But I'm trying to talk real fast, and I got a couple more superstitions I want to get to that are a little more, I hope, entertaining. So stick with me if you can. I got one more for in the house, and then we're going to go outside just for the last little bit. So hang with me if you can. The opening the umbrella in the house. Isn't this a beauty? This thing's big. My daughter picked this one out for me. Opens up big. Problem is, it doesn't close any smaller than that. So when you're trying to inconspicuously walk around with this, you kind of look like one of those gentlemen with the cane and stuff, because you got such a long umbrella. But of course, we all know that it's bad luck to open the umbrella in the house. And there were a lot of reasonings behind what they said the superstition was, but basically, I'm going to go ahead and do it because, well, I don't believe in pretty much anything anymore. Yeah, look at the size. Look at the size of that thing. Yeah, I carry at least 2 umbrellas in each of the cars, and travel umbrellas, regular umbrellas, pop-up umbrellas. We got all the umbrellas. Okay, and this is my big umbrella, though. I haven't used it a whole lot because it's just too darn big. Kind of like the chainsaw thing. It's just like, But it comes at the end of the day, it comes to push and shove. Chainsaws are just too heavy to fight with, Well, this umbrella is almost too big to use, you know what I mean? But anyway, back to the actual thing I'm supposed to be talking about. From what I looked up on superstitions, what it comes down to is, don't open an umbrella in the house. Really, I think, my opinion is, the main reason is you're going to poke somebody with it. I mean, it's big, and you might poke somebody in the eye or knock things out. It comes down to just simple, you might hurt somebody. There's not some kind of mystical evil force going on here. In my opinion, it all was based on, you're going to poke somebody, you're going to jab somebody, and that's all there is to it, I think. So somehow it's like turned into bad luck. I don't know how, but I don't think there's really bad luck to it. It's just like you got to be careful, and people aren't careful. You know what I mean? So don't open the umbrella in the house because you don't want to poke anybody. Like the penguin. Yeah, the penguin, he always had his umbrellas, that would shoot the smoke, especially the Adam West, the old Batman series penguin. That was, I like those, the old cheese ball ones like that, and the smoke bomb in smoke would come out and everybody'd fall down, and yeah, it was kind of like one of these umbrellas too, the kind of big ones, But anyway, that's the superstition of the umbrella. I don't think there was much of a evil force at work. I think it was just, got to be careful with an umbrella. Okay, on my next scene, if you're still here, man oh man, congratulations. I'm so glad you're hanging around. I'm going to go outside for this one, okay? So, all right, so just hang on. This is the only ladder I own that I can actually walk underneath. I don't have ladders that are big enough. Of course, walking under a ladder is considered bad luck. And I'm getting dripped on by the... I'm right by the roof of my house back here, and I'm getting dripped on from the roof. And the real danger with, there's a lot of superstitions about walking under a ladder. But from what I read, the real danger is just, it came about from the fact that it was dangerous to walk under a ladder because people could be working on the ladder, and things can drop on your head. So basically, you know, it all came from that. It didn't really come from there being something weird associated with it, not from what I seen anyway. So it's just basically being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's about like that. And that's about it. You don't want to get under a ladder because this could happen to you. Jason, he showed up. I told him not to show up, and he showed up after all. But he is a fan, so I'm assuming you want an autograph? Machete. Autograph the machete. Okay. All right. Is this for you or for your mom? Yeah. You know, it's mine. All right. Okay. Now, whatever you do, don't get blood on this. Okay? All right. There you go. Is there, what? No, I am not going to autograph your boobs. Don't even ask me that, okay? Jeez. Is there anything else you want autographed? Anything at all? You got anything you want? I knew it. Caillou fan. Everybody's a Caillou fan, though. Caillou. I'm a Caillou fan myself. All right. Okay. Jason got his autographs. There you go. Keep that next to you there. All right. All right. So, for the Superstitions show, Dr.Dollz. And is there anything else I need to add, Jason? Jason don't talk much. Yeah, he never did. He had to show up, though. He's a fan. What can I say? He's a fan. So, for the Dr.Dollz Spook Show, I'll see you next time.